Have you ever noticed, no matter how smart your words are, some people still dismiss you? Most think respect comes from shouting the loudest. But here's the truth. Power doesn't live in volume. It lives in silence sharpened into precision. Picture this. You walk into a meeting, a heated argument at home, or even a casual talk among friends. One sentence leaves the entire room quiet, not because you yelled, but because your words carried weight. Today, I'll share 5 phrases that do exactly that. Each one is a blade, small, sharp, and impossible to ignore. And phrase number 3, it's so disarming, it can flip the entire power dynamic in seconds. As Marcus Aurelius reminded us, waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one. Respect isn't demanded, it's commanded through clarity, calm, and unshakable self-control. Phrase 1. I understand your point, but I disagree. At first, it seems like just another polite sentence. But beneath its simplicity lies an extraordinary balance of power. Most arguments don't collapse because of facts. They collapse because of ego. The moment you tell someone, that's wrong, or you don't know what you're talking about, their defenses rise like a fortress. They stop listening. They start fighting. But this phrase is different. When you begin with, I understand your point, you disarm the other person. You show them that you've heard their words, that you've respected their perspective. And then without anger, without mockery, you draw your line. But I disagree. No shouting, no desperate defense, just presence, just firmness. Picture it. You're in a boardroom. Someone lays out a plan you know will fail. Most people would either stay silent or ignite conflict. But you lean forward, steady voice, calm eyes, and you say, I understand your point, but I disagree. The room shifts. Suddenly, people see you differently. Not as a rebel, not as an enemy, but as someone independent, someone thoughtful, someone who cannot be pushed around. This is Stoicism alive. It is the art of separating emotion from judgment, the wisdom to stand firm without raising your blood pressure, the strength to disagree without dishonoring yourself or the other person. And here is the hidden truth. The calmer your disagreement, the more powerful it becomes. Anyone can blurt out, you're wrong. That requires no discipline, no control. But to hold your ground with serenity, that takes mastery. And when you do, people begin to trust your judgment even more. Because deep down, we all know, the one who controls his voice controls the room. And the one who controls his mind commands respect without ever asking for it. So remember this phrase. Carry it into your next conversation, into your next conflict. I understand your point, but I disagree. It may be simple, but it is also unstoppable. Phrase 2. I don't find that appropriate. Sometimes, the most powerful response is the shortest one. This phrase is only 5 words, but those 5 words can end a storm before it even begins. Think about how most people react when someone crosses the line. They laugh nervously. They stay silent. Or worse, they play along. And in that moment, they send a silent message. It's okay to disrespect me. But when you look someone in the eye, calm, steady, unshaken, and you say, I don't find that appropriate, everything changes. No lecture, no anger, no long explanation. Just a boundary, clear as stone. Picture this. You're at a dinner table. Someone makes an offensive joke, expecting you to smile or nod. Instead, you pause. You breathe. And you say, I don't find that appropriate. The air shifts. The laughter dies down. People suddenly realize, you're not someone who can be played with. You're not someone who sells dignity for approval. Seneca once said, he who respects himself will be respected by others. This phrase is that truth in action. It shows the world that you will not laugh at what you know is wrong. You will not join the chorus of disrespect just to fit in. And here's the deeper lesson. When you use this phrase, you don't just protect yourself. You silently give others permission to protect themselves too. Because every room has people who feel uncomfortable, but stay quiet. When you draw the line, you show them how to draw theirs. This is why Stoics saw dignity as an invisible shield. It requires no force. It requires no defense. It simply radiates. So carry this phrase with you. The next time someone crosses the line, don't fight fire with fire. Don't hide behind silence. Stand tall. Speak calm and say, I don't find that appropriate. 5 words, but 5 words that can silence disrespect and turn your presence into something unshakable. Phrase 3. Let's talk when we can do so respectfully. There are moments when conversations stop being conversations. Voices rise. Interruptions fly. Every word becomes a weapon. And in that chaos, most people make one of 2 mistakes. They either fight back matching the aggression, or they retreat in silence, feeling defeated. But the Stoic way is different. Instead of shouting, instead of shrinking, you pause, you breathe, and you say, with calm authority, let's talk when we can do so respectfully. In that instant, the fire dies, because you've just shifted the rules of the game. You've refused to play on their terms, and now the control belongs to you. Picture this. A coworker interrupts you, voice sharp, trying to dominate the room. You don't raise your volume. You don't beg to be heard. You simply say, let's talk when we can do so respectfully. Silence follows, because the message is clear. You are not afraid of dialogue, but you refuse to dignify disrespect. Epictetus taught, you cannot control the actions of others, but you can control your response. And this phrase is that wisdom alive. You protect your peace. You guard your dignity. And without a single insult, you force the other person to reconsider their behavior. Here's the secret. When you demand respect through calm words, people listen more carefully. The first time you use this phrase, you'll see it. The room will go quiet. The energy will shift. And suddenly, your voice will carry more weight than all the shouting combined. This is not weakness. This is mastery. Because true strength doesn't come from volume. It comes from composure. So remember this phrase. Carry it into your next heated moment. And when the storm of voices rises around you, be the calm center that says, let's talk when we can do so respectfully. You don't walk away in fear. You walk away in control. And that is how respect is won. Phrase 4. I'd prefer not to continue this conversation. Not every battle is worth fighting. Not every conversation deserves your energy. There are moments when words stop seeking truth and start chasing victory. Moments when the person in front of you doesn't want resolution. They want domination. They want to drain you, trap you, pull you into their chaos. And here is where most people fall. They argue longer. They raise their voice. They burn hours of life proving a point that never needed proving. But you are different. You pause, you breathe, and you say calmly, without anger, without apology, I'd prefer not to continue this conversation. With those words, you close the door. Not out of fear, not out of weakness, but out of strength. Because strength is not measured by how long you can argue. It's measured by how quickly you can protect your peace. Picture this. Someone keeps provoking you, circling the same points again and again. You feel the trap tightening. Instead of taking the bait, you smile slightly, steady your tone, and say, I'd prefer not to continue this conversation. The tension breaks, because you've made a choice. You will not sacrifice inner calm for the illusion of winning. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The best revenge is not to be like your enemy." And that's exactly what you've done. You've refused to mirror their anger. You've chosen dignity over drama. Here's the truth. Walking away doesn't mean you lost. It means you saw clearly that the battle itself was meaningless. It means you valued your time, your mind, your spirit, more than their noise. This phrase is a reminder. You are not obligated to finish every argument. You are not chained to every conversation. You have the right, the duty to end what does not serve you. So remember it. Use it. And when the next pointless debate comes your way, stand tall and say, "I'd prefer not to continue this conversation," because sometimes the most powerful word is the one that ends the dialogue. Phrase 5. That's your opinion and I respect it, but I don't share it. In today's world, everyone has an opinion about how you should live, how you should work, how you should love. And too often, those opinions are forced upon us like chains. Most people respond in two ways. They either fight, arguing point by point, burning energy in endless debates, or they bend, nodding along, pretending to agree just to keep the peace. But the Stoic path offers a third way. You listen, you acknowledge, and then, calmly, you declare your independence. That's your opinion and I respect it, but I don't share it. It's firm without being hostile. It's polite without being submissive. It tells the world, I can honor your right to speak without surrendering my right to think. Picture this. A colleague insists you adopt their method. A family member pressures you to follow their beliefs. Instead of locking horns, instead of yielding, you breathe deeply and say, "That's your opinion and I respect it, but I don't share it." The power of this phrase lies in its balance. It shuts the door to manipulation, yet leaves the bridge of respect standing. Seneca warned, being a slave to the opinions of others is the worst of prisons. And this phrase is your key to freedom. It reminds you that you can respect someone without abandoning yourself. And here's the deeper truth. People may not agree with you. They may not even like your stance. But they will respect the courage it takes to stand alone, calmly, gracefully, unapologetically. Because strength isn't in crushing other opinions. It's in carrying your own with dignity. So the next time someone tries to press their beliefs onto you, don't argue endlessly. Don't bow silently. Stand tall. Look them in the eye and say, "That's your opinion and I respect it, but I don't share it." Respectful, independent, unshakable. Why these phrases make you stronger? Notice something? Each phrase shares three qualities. 1. They separate emotion from reaction. You don't fight fire with fire. You respond with clarity. 2. They establish boundaries. You silently teach others how to treat you. 3. They project self-respect. And self-respect always precedes external respect. When you use these phrases, you're not just managing conversations, you're practicing philosophy. You're embodying the Stoic belief that true power is mastery of self. And here's the paradox. The less you try to force respect, the more people give it to you. Practical lessons. Applying this in modern life. So the question is, how do you actually use these phrases in the real world? 1. At work, imagine the endless meetings, the heated discussions. Most people stay quiet or react too fast. But when you replace passive silence with calm, firm words, something shifts. Your boss sees you not as timid, but as reliable. Your colleagues begin to view you as steady, not reactive. 2. In relationships, love cannot survive without boundaries. Arguments don't destroy couples. Disrespect does. And when you use these phrases, you draw the line with grace. You remind the other person, I value us, but I also value myself. That balance protects both love and dignity. 3. On social media, the battlefield of endless opinions. It's easy to get pulled into hours of back and forth, draining your energy. But a simple line, "I respect your view, but I don't share it," ends the fight before it begins. You walk away lighter, stronger, untangled from the noise. 4. With strangers. The rude comment, the pushy salesperson, the person who tests your patience. Most expect either anger or surrender. But when you stay calm and firm, you flip the script. You show them, "You do not control me, I control me." Life is filled with small battles. 1,000 tiny moments where respect can be lost or earned. These phrases are not just words. They are armor. They protect your peace, your dignity, your inner strength. Carry them. Use them. And let the world see the power of a mind unshaken. Conclusion. Simple words, calm words. But together, these 5 phrases create a powerful code of self-respect. Respect is never forced. It is earned by character. When you speak with serenity and firmness, people listen. They measure their tone, and the world begins to treat you differently, not because you demanded it, but because you embodied it. So here's my challenge. This week, choose one phrase and use it. Then tell me in the comments with a simple pledge, "I choose respect." If this inspired you, consider subscribing. Join us here on The Stoic Habit, where philosophy becomes practice.